So I was talking about how I discovered surrender my future. Um, I learned the first thing I learned was um, how to let go of my past, and that happened. I learned it. I learned what I should do, and then I went through 10 years of depression, dealing with letting go of my past. But yeah, in order to live in the moment, you have to let go of your past, and that can be a really hard thing because, well, obviously it can be a really hard thing. But what I mean is the past contains pain. Pain is always in the past. You stick a knife in your hand right now and you won't feel anything. It'll be like an explosion in your head. The moment is the explosion. It's not until you look down at the knife in your hand or arm or whatever, and your brain starts to process it, that you think, ah, this hurts. The same thing happens with a baby. You know, a baby puts his hand on a stove, a really hot stove, doesn't do anything for a split second, and then it's like, wow, there's no pain in the moment. Pain only exists in the past. And pain comes in numerous different forms. So one form that pain comes in is regret. I don't need to talk about that, you know what regret is. Another form of pain is guilt. Guilt was the one form that consumed me most of all. I felt really guilty for a number of things. Not particularly bad, but I'd hurt people basically, and I felt so guilty for that. It took me 10 years to get over it. So you've got regret, you've got guilt, you've got physical pain as well exists in the past. Like you remember how you did something and you're like, oh. I think there's a few other types. Honestly, I can't remember them at this point in time, but you might, I don't know, comment below if this ever gets into YouTube. Wow. So that's pain. So you get rid of that, and the way you get rid of it is you forgive yourself. So you say to yourself, could I have done any different? And you may say, yes, I could, but you only say that because of who you are and what you know now. If you were to go right back into that moment, you would be the person that you were again, back in that moment. You wouldn't be the person you are now, who has understood things, learned things, and regrets it. You would be that person who didn't know this moment was going to lead to pain and regret. And you would do exactly the same thing, because we are all people, we are all creations of our experience and the events that happen to us. Yes, we have choice. We always have choice. But we have to be open enough to take those choices, and the only way we can be open enough to take those choices is to live in the moment. Otherwise, the choices we make are always based on our fears, which, as I say, comes from our experiences. So, you need to forgive yourself. You couldn't have changed anything that you've done in your past. You haven't done anything wrong. You're living, you've lived your life. You're a person. We are not perfect. It's a fight. It's a fight to get better. It's a fight to feel good. And it's a fight, just like when you give up an addiction, that you will keep regressing in. I keep regressing in my lessons. Living in the moment is a really hard thing to do. Really hard, and yeah, I go traveling, or I go on a vision quest, or I just go camping or whatever, and I feel like I connect with that moment again, and I remember it, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do this more often. I've got to stay in this point of zone, you know. But I'll get into something else, and then I'll regress into whatever, and then I'll remember again. But I always feel like I'm getting better, slightly. But I believe it's key never to think I I know. Because whenever I feel like I know something, the universe just fucks my face, basically, and says, you don't know shit. And it will change the rules. And that's fine, I fucking love that. It would be fucking ridiculous if there's an end, at which point you say, oh, I know now. So what's the fucking point anymore?